Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to stop caring about what other people think. If you're someone that you are just so worried about what your friends think, what your parents think, what everybody around you thinks, I know that is not an easy way to live because I've been you. I used to be exactly like that. I worried so much about what everybody around me thought, of what I wore, of what I looked like, how I spoke. It's just so exhausting to live like that. I'm a life coach for teens, and I was working with a girl the other day, and she was telling me how she doesn't even like to sit a certain angle because she doesn't like her side profile. She hates her nose, so she tries to always contour it to make it look smaller. She hates the way her nose looks. So when she turns around, she knows how to do these little things to make sure people don't notice her nose or side profile. And I was just completely in shock by all of that because that has got to be so exhausting, and it was. And she said, yeah, like it's so exhausting because I always have to be aware of how I look so other people don't notice. And it's so sad, but yet we all do this, you know? We all have our own insecurities that we try to hide because we're so afraid of what other people will think. And I don't want you to live like that because it's just not a fun way to live. So in this video, I just want to share some tips with you to help you stop caring about what other people think. Before we go on, I just want to say, if you ever want to talk with me, like I'm a certified life coach. I work one-on-one with girls from everywhere. So if you ever want to work with me, I have a website where I talk about everything that I do. All of that will be linked down below. Now, moving on to the tips. Okay, my first tip for you is if you want to stop caring about what other people think of you, you have got to get a handle on your social media consumption. 90% of the time, usually when we're on social media, it doesn't make us feel too great about ourselves. That's where we start comparing ourselves to everybody, which is so dumb because we're literally, when we do that, we're comparing our everyday self to someone else's highlight reel, because nobody's going out there posting pictures and videos of themselves when they don't feel like they look pretty. So you're over here watching a video when you're half asleep, your hair is messy, makeup is from 2 days ago, and you see someone that literally looks perfect because they've taken the time to look good to take that picture, and you're gonna compare yourself with that? Like, that's not fair. So stop following accounts that make you feel crappy about yourself. TikTok is pretty cool with their For You page, you know. They give you content that you interact with. So if you're interacting with content that make you feel crappy about yourself, well, they're gonna give you more of that because they see that you're liking that and you're watching that. So if you want to stop comparing yourself to other people, then don't consume content that makes you feel like crap. So really figure out, like, what triggers you, what is it that you don't like, what kind of content do you look at and just kind of feel worse about yourself, and make sure you unfollow that person, or you can always click I'm not interested in this content, especially on TikTok, so that you don't get content like that thrown at you. Another thing is, seriously, just remember that, like, it's what's on the inside that counts, not what's on the outside. And I know you're like, this is so cliche, everybody says that, but it's true. It's so true. The sooner you realize what matters is what's on the inside, the better you're gonna be off, because you're not gonna care about people's opinions of your hair and your face and your makeup, like, because at the end of the day, so what? Why? None of that matters. What matters is that you are going to always be kind and genuine and true to yourself. And the sooner that you can discover who you are on the inside, the better off you're going to be. So remember, it's what's on the inside that counts, not what's on the outside. Now, the next tip I have for you, this one's really important, and that is Oftentimes, the opinions other people have of you says a lot more about them than it does you. What do I mean by that? Well, usually, people who are being hateful, they're being hateful because they are so unhappy. It's really not because of you. You really did not do anything to make someone unhappy. The way they react, you do not have control over that. We don't. Nobody has control over making someone feel a certain way. We are in control of our own actions, and we can't control anyone else's actions. So if somebody is gonna go out of their way to talk crap about you or to think a certain way about you, it really doesn't have anything to do with you. It's kind of their problem. It doesn't mean go around and be rude. Please don't. And be like, it's just your problem. Like, no. You be you. You be kind. You be nice. And you be loving. And if somebody's still gonna go out of their way to think negatively of you, then it probably is because they're going through their own thing. And they want to project that onto someone else. They want someone else to feel the pain so they don't feel as bad. So I know that's not fair because you did not do anything to deserve that, but just remember to continue being yourself and realize that you didn't do anything wrong. Like, they're going through whatever it is they're going through and they're gonna project that onto you. And it sucks that you have to bear that, but it's not your fault. Another tip for you is don't be judgmental yourself. Oftentimes, people who are very judgmental of other people are also super self-conscious because they're judgmental. They see everything that someone does and they're quick to judge. Therefore, they assume everybody's quick to judge. And that's not true, especially when it comes to, thinking of ourselves. Nobody thinks of ourselves the way we think of ourselves. Like, no one is like, Karis is just wearing the same jeans every day. Like, nobody cares because they're also worried about their own world. Especially when you're a teen, like, everybody's so worried about what everyone thinks of them to where they don't even have time to think about you. So don't be judgmental, always be kind. And the more judgmental you become, the more subconscious you're also most likely to be because you're worried that everyone else notices things the way you notice them, if that makes sense. Okay, and the last tip I have for you is surround yourself with good people. Don't get into a group of friendships where it's just so toxic and people are always being so negative and so mean and rude and hateful. No, like that won't help. That will not help you stop caring about what other people think, because usually when we care about what other people think, it's because they're thinking negatively about us, and surrounding yourself with negative people just won't help that situation. So if you're in a toxic friend group, please leave that. It's so much better to not have friends than it is to have toxic friends, seriously. So surround yourself with good people. Don't be judgmental. Realize that the opinions other people have of you have a lot more to say about them than you. And seriously, just always be kind. And remember, it's what's on the inside that counts, not what's on the outside. And social media. Make sure you do not let social media impact you in a negative way. And if you want to follow somebody on social media that will make you feel good about yourself, then follow me. But for real, I post a lot of really helpful stuff over on TikTok and Instagram. So if you want to go follow me, everything will be linked down below. But that's all I got for you today, and until next time, bye.